I'd take pride too if I got myself a Gravely ZTXL. Thank you so much for purchasing your ZTXL. We're here today, Carl's Mower and Saw, to kind of walk you through what you need to know to get the most out of this product. You've done your investigation, you've spent your time, and you zeroed in on this machine is the right machine for your property, but we need to get you to get the most out of it. So there's some things, some tips, some tricks to be a happy, proud owner of this machine, to get 15 years out of it, to not have it break down on you. So let's look very quickly at the front end. Let's start at the front end. We got a couple grease zerks on the front wheels, one on each side. That's pretty simple. I would hit that once a year unless you're mowing a lot of property, but generally once a year, greasing that, a few pumps out of your grease gun. Let's talk about tire pressure, okay? That's something that it gets cold out, your tire pressure is gonna go down, it's hot out, or maybe you hit a thorn and you're losing tire pressure or air pressure. So tire pressure on the front end, we should set that at 15 pounds. Why 15 pounds? We go less than that, we actually have the chance of potentially popping these tires off the rim because we're going fast and we're turning fast and we're hitting molehills or tree roots and we pop the tire off the rim and then you got a flat, and that kind of sucks. And on the back end of the back wheels, the back tires, I like to go at about 12 pounds. That's gonna give us proper flotation, some up and down movement. Also keep the maximum tread to the ground. That makes sense? Get rid of that crown on the tire. We want as much surface area as possible. It's gonna reduce our pounds per square inch out of the mower, so we're less likely to create ruts. Also gonna have better traction when I'm turning or if I'm on hillsides. So we got our greasing, our tire pressure. Let's talk really quickly about deck level, okay? Over time, we could have a deck get out of level, and what that means is I go this way and I make this nice cut and I turn around and I'm coming back and I see this angle and I see this divot. That doesn't look good. You're not showing off to the neighbors anymore. Remember, you got this awesome machine and you're so proud of it and your lawn looks like trash. So first thing on that, start out by checking your tire pressure. Very often people will go through a whole deck leveling process and they'll find out that it didn't fix it because their left rear tire was low or their right rear tire was low. So 15, 12. Then let's get into, okay, we've set our tire pressure. We've made sure we don't have a bent blade. We didn't hit a big boulder and bend a blade. Try not to hit rocks. That's never a good thing. That ends up usually costing you money. So on the front end, we have a a deck leveling, a deck suspension right here, and as well as on the left side, and then on the back, we've got one. So what we're gonna do is work those up and down to set the proper deck level, side to side, and then we also have what's called pitch. So that mower deck, you actually wanna have it tilting forward just a tad, about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 inch. You don't really wanna go over 1/4 for sure, really 1/8 of an inch, just so the tips of the front end of the deck is a little lower than the back. Let's talk about lubrication points. There's some spray lubrication points. I'm usually gonna grab my Honda lube. That's what we use here at Carl's Mower in the shop. We've got deck pivot points right here, right here, right here. And if you work your way around, any point where you see that deck's moving up and down, it's gonna give it a quick spray, probably once a year. It's gonna keep it moving freely. It's gonna get rid of that annoying squeak that you may have, and that just doesn't sound good. Also some pivot points right here on the handles. Squirt right in there, keep those moving. And then usually I'll take the brake off and I'll hit down right in here too, so these move forward and backwards easily, smoothly, don't have that squeak. All right, let me put this away. Drop this down real quick. Let's hop on the seat. I'm sure you already caught this, but there's a adjuster on the left-hand side so you can move your seat forward or backwards. Let's match this to our leg length because it's important. This is how I change the height of cut on this mower. I need to be able to reach this easily with my foot. I kick forward, that's gonna lift the deck up, and then I turn this dial here on the right-hand side to my desired mowing height. So I'm out mowing some taller grass today. I'm gonna go ahead and set that at 3 inches. That deck's gonna drop down to the 3-inch level. This is a really cool thing that often gets overlooked. You're thinking all it does is raises and lowers the deck, but as I'm mowing, if I'm getting into heavy mowing, especially if I'm bagging or mulching, I'm paying attention to the sound, and I can feather this deck up and down as I'm mowing. Keep that airflow going. So pay attention, listen to it, slow down, lift it up, let it breathe, and then drop it and take back off. We have some customization we can do to these handles right here. We can actually move these levers down. Maybe I'm a little shorter. Maybe it's more comfortable for me to drop them down. Can at that point in time also tilt them a little bit forward or backwards, just kind of get them to fit me and how I mow, how I sit in my seat, just like your car, right? Get it adjusted right. We have tracking adjustments right here. There's a little bolt right in that hole on both the right and the left side. And what that's going to do is create a stop on these levers as to how far forward they go. And that's an adjustment that I would make if I'm full pegged on my levers and I'm pulling to the left or the right after I've checked my tire pressure. I'm going to adjust those tracking. Something that makes those stripes on your lawn a lot easier to hold straight. And then we've got a bolt on the inside right here on both sides that change the pitch of this handle, how far in or out it can come. So if you see right now, these are off just a little bit. Not a big deal, but I would actually personally I'd loosen this jam nut here, pull this bolt out a turn, and I'm going to drop this down so it matches the left-hand side. This is my parking brake. This is necessary to start it. So I'm going to pull up on the parking brake. That's going to engage the safety switch. As long as the blade's off, this yellow button right here, I can now fire it up. Quick tip on that, because I'll probably forget about it later. My mind's always going 100 miles per hour as I'm recording these videos. Engaging the blades. I recommend engaging the blades at about half throttle and then speeding it up. And I always recommend disengaging the blades at quarter throttle or below. Why is that? Why would I want to slow down my engine speed before shutting the blades off? Because these blades need to stop in a set amount of time. There's some safety standards around them. And if I'm going 100 miles per hour and I slam on the brakes, or if I'm going 50 miles per hour and I slam on the brakes, that's what's going to happen. You're going to slam on the brakes and stop those blades. So let's slow the engine speed down. What that is going to mean is better for the belt life and also better for the electric clutch. The electric clutch is what's engaging and disengaging the blades. So it's going to extend the life of your mower. Okay, we know about the tire pressure, we know about the deck leveling, the pivot points, the parking brake, the setting of the height. Flip this seat forward here. This is where all our electrical is. We've got our battery under here. This is a 12-volt system, so I can charge it just like I would a normal car battery if I've got a charger at my place. Here is my fuse panel, my fuse box right here. I can flip this lid open. There's going to be a couple fuses. What are these things right here? These are my transmission, hydrostatic transmission expansion ports. The ZTXL 52 has serviceable transmissions. Initially, the fluid and filters should be changed between 75 and 100 hours. We use the Gravely 1550 synthetic hydro fluid. This is specifically made for this. It's got zinc in it. It's long life. It's going to give you the maximum life out of this transmission. So 75 to 100 hours, I'm going to change the fluid and the filters. There's one filter per transmission, and total fluid capacity is, I think, just over 4 quarts. Don't quote me, don't put in 4 quarts and not have enough. Anyways, these expansion points right here are really, like if you look at your car, you know that radiator overflow plastic tank under your hood? That's what these are. You'll always have just a little bit of oil in the base of these. Okay, you can pick this up if you need to add more. Engine. We've got a fuel filter here. I'm going to recommend we change this fuel filter once a year. It's fairly simple. I'm going to loosen these hose clamps, slide a new one in. Oil. We use a 1030 Kawasaki engine oil here in the Pacific Northwest. This engine holds 2 quarts. I like to change this oil every 50 to 75 hours. For most people, that's going to be once a year. You mow a couple hours a week, you mow 30, 35 times a year. So let's change the engine oil and filter annually. And then let's not miss the air filter. That's right under the back right here. I flip this lid up and there's my air filter. There's a little wing knob here on the hose clamp. I can pull this out. There's my air filter. Right now it's perfect. There's no dirt on it. But as summer comes and it gets drier and I'm kicking up all this dust, this engine, 691 cc, no, 726 cc. That's a lot of air that's coming through this filter every minute. So knock it out. Can I see good light through it? Hold it up to the sun. Can I see good light through it? If I can't, think about putting a new filter in. Most people, once a year is fine, but certain applications, they're doing it twice a year. So once a month, why don't you pull this filter, check it out. The key is the maintenance and keeping an eye on it so that it doesn't get out of hand. And then you just place it back here in this rubber hose. Make sure it's seated in good, and then tighten that hose clamp up. All right, this back black panel comes off by loosening these two bolts, and then I can very easily get to my spark plugs, which are kind of hidden. It's gonna make it a little easier for you to maintain. So we've talked about the hydro fluid, changing that between 75 and 100 hours initially, and then it's every 400 hours. We've talked about fuel filter and oil filter change and air filter and spark plugs. Something I want to hit on is how do I move this machine? So it's in my garage and it sat over winter and I got a dead battery. If I take this parking brake off, let me set this down. This thing is not going to move very easily for me. I mean, I'm pushing hard. I should probably work out a little more. Anyways, I'm pushing hard and it's not moving. But on the back here, right down at the back end, we've got two levers on the right side and the left side that we can pull out that allow us to easily, now I feel better, I guess the brake wasn't off before, allow us to easily roll this machine, move it around in the garage. So those hydro relief levers, something to know about if you get a dead battery or something breaks on it. There you go, the Gravely ZTXL. I'm sure I missed something in my maintenance overview, but you got a really good idea of what you need to do to get the most out of your Gravely mower from Carl's Mower and Saw. Hey, this is Josh from Carl's Mower and Saw. Thanks for watching our videos. We're proud of the fact that we've been serving you with the best in outdoor power equipment since 1990. We're glad that you had an opportunity to sit down, watch our videos, learn something about an exciting new product that we have, something that interests you for your property, or really how to use your equipment to the best of its ability. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. We're excited to share more information with you. See you soon.